Uh, Hello, so welcome to yet another cost optimization seminar. While we are waiting for all attendants join to our seminar, let me tell you a story. I have obviously I have DevOps practices in the background, so that's why I'm familiar with YAML, and I know that YAML is just acronym for yet another markup language. But recently I figured out, actually I was told I have that. Excuse me. That actually yet another, it's like some kind of computer humor, and I attended data analytics courses provided by exit certified company, and our instructors, we spoke about Hadoop ecosystem, and instructor mentioned Yarn, which is acronym for yet another resource negotiator, and we discussed, and actually he told us that yet another has a long story, and first example of yet another was yet another C compiler, name it in 1917, something like that. So I hope this seminar will not be like exactly yet another cost optimization seminar, and you will learn something new, heard about some new features, new things, maybe some new approaches. So please send the message to chat. Where are you from? From which city, from which country? And as a result, we will know that our chat is working. Also, if you have some questions, please send them to question and answers sections. Sorry, no sections window. And if we will have time, I will answer it. If we will not have time during the seminar, I will provide answer later by email. So once again, welcome to our seminar, and it's named the 2024 Guide to AWS Spending Efficiency Tools, Techniques, and Tips. Let me present myself and company which conducts this seminar. So I'm Ilya Reznikov. I'm a CTO EMEA in company Svitla Systems. Svitla Systems is a global digital solution company, and we have been on the market almost 20 years already. We have a global footprint. We have already 13 global locations. We have more than 1,000 top highly skilled engineers, and obviously we have been working on different projects from different kind of companies and from various industries. Svitla System is an AWS Advanced Tier Service Partner. So this title means that we are a member of AWS Partner Network, and we have enough certified engineers with proven customer experience, and we provide offerings in different directions, like well-architected review, cost optimization, migration, and cloud adoption, setting DevOps practices, improvement, Kubernetes serverless, and others. Also, I'll ask my colleague Igor to send the feedback form to the chat window. And if you need to leave a seminar earlier, then please still find it several minutes to fill a feedback form. Your feedback very valuable for us, and it allows us to make next seminar better and more interesting for you. Also, desk and record of seminar will be available in the follow-up emails after seminar. So today we will speak about how to understand details of our AWS spend. We'll speak about cloud financial management, how to implement that in the company, what is the value of this approach. We'll take a look at latest AWS cost monitoring and management tools and discuss several maybe not like well-known cost reduction techniques which could be implemented in AWS cloud infrastructure. Approximately 6 months ago, we gave another seminar about cost optimization, and let me mention that during this seminar we discussed that the cost optimization can be implemented without cost visibility and cost monitoring. Cost management and optimization actually continuously improvement process, and it like not one-time check, and it's still true. We focused on AWS native tools and consider how they could be applied on different stages of cloud journey. Also here you see a QR code on the seminar, so if you have time and interested in that, you might take a look at that. Let me start with cloud financial management approach, and please answer the first poll. Are you satisfied with your AWS bill? So, as I mentioned in comment to this poll, satisfied actually really depends on size of your project or size of your company. Because, well, for a small project, probably 500 it's too much, but for big project, 5,000 or even 15,000 could be completely okay. Okay. Thank you for answering. Let's continue. Also, I heard a question why you're focused on speaking about AWS native tools only. It doesn't mean that we not working or our client are not using other third-party tools. Actually, there are plenty of them, and some of them like good fit, good choice for cost monitoring. Some of them good fit for cost optimization, and for example, for actually cloud management at all. We just mentioned several of them on this slide. There are, I could mention Datadog, New Relic, Aptio, Cloud Zero, Cloud Health, and particular choice actually really depends on your needs, on your infrastructure, on your company. If, for example, if you already use any of these products, probably it's worth to continue with them. If you have a multi-cloud infrastructure, I'd like to say a large multi-cloud infrastructure, it also worth to take a look at some of them because, like using AWS cost management tools for other cloud probably is not like a straightforward way to do that. But in this seminar, we'll focus it just on AWS native tools. I'd like to say that there are several very interesting improvements and new services where like became generally available at the end of previous year. So let's discuss how they could apply to cloud journey to our in our companies. But let me start with AWS well-architected framework. This is approach designed and provided by AWS. And this framework contains best practices and design principles that help cloud architects design, build, and operate reliable, secure, high performance, resilient, cost-efficient, and sustainable infrastructure for a variety of applications and workloads. All design principles and best practices actually split to 6 different pillars. It doesn't mean that any of these pillars are like more important than others. And we need to understand that cost optimization is just like one of dimensions when we speak and when we design our infrastructure. By definition, cost optimization pillar, it contains design principle and best practices that allows us to run a system to deliver business value at the lowest price point. So once again, first of all, we need to meet our business requirements because everything which we do should like fit this requirement. But we could design it like in more expensive way or in more efficient way. And the cost optimization pillar contains best practices and design principle how to do that. And we'll consider that on the next slide. Also, as I mentioned, usually there are some trade-off between pillars, so it doesn't mean that performance is more important than cost optimization. In some cases, even for example, if we'd like to increase speed to market our application, probably, so that it will be more important to try put efforts to cost optimization. Due to this, we put efforts to optimize for speed going, like shipping new features, meeting deadline, and then we'll spend efforts to improve our cost optimization. Cost optimization design principles. First of them, we need to practice cloud financial management. So this is approach how to set up these practices inside the company. Several other principles mostly speak about creating cloud infrastructure using, I'd like to say that best cloud benefits like agility, flexibility, so we able to add and remove our resources based on our needs, and we will actually we should pay for only those resources which we consume. Because it's cloud, so it's about shared responsibility, and in this way we as a company, as users of cloud services, don't need to put efforts to set up this underlying infrastructure. Next two design principles spoke about that we need continuously monitor the business outcome of the workload and cost associated with this delivery, and we should actually accurately identify the cost and usage of workloads, which then allows transparent attribution of IT costs to revenue streams and individual workload owners. At previous seminar, we spoke that cost optimization could not be implemented without cost management, because cost management is actually the ability to give visibility of cost and keep them under control. Cost optimization, as we already mentioned, its ability to run system to deliver business value at lowest possible price point. But today, because we are speaking about cloud financial management, I like to spoke about that from a wider angle. Pillars of cloud financial management. There are 4 pillars of cloud financial management. There are see, save, plan, and run. So see, it's about allocating cost, about tagging resources, about implementing this, strategy, about adding efficiency KPIs. Save, about cost optimization. So it includes all which we know about how to, optimize cost of our infrastructure. It means that we need to set up and implement cost-aware architecture, continuously, review new offerings, because usually new offerings is cheaper than previous, and monitor our resources, just, eliminate what we don't need and add them exactly when we need them. Plan is about budgeting, forecasting, controlling cost, quantify cloud business value. So we spend that money and we get that output. Also, plan include integrate cloud with IT financial management. And 4 pillar about setting CFM, cloud financial management function in the company. So stakeholders should understand cost of cloud. We need put efforts to evolving processes, adding automation. We need to persuade our executives that CFM function was to be implemented. In several words, what is actually CFM team? So it could has different names. It could be Cloud Business Office. It could be named as a Cloud Center of Excellence, or even FinOps team. But it still should implement the main idea that it should has relations with dev team, business team, and finance team. Depends on size of your company. It could be like 1 person part-time, or it could be even several persons. But in any case, why it still need relations with these 3 big teams? Because dev teams responsible for cloud resources. They know which resources exist, and the finance team knows how many does they cost, without real understanding, do we need these resources or not? Business team actually a team which responsible for business requirements, for product, for leading business. And just in several words, we could say that dev understand what, finance understand how money, and business understand why we need them. Without stating this in our process, management finance and cost of cloud could be like a magic. And let me just provide you a simple example. If we don't like implement this function and no one understands how cost allocated to particular teams, it could be like a magic. And for example, somehow CFOs could say, "Oh, our monthly bill just dropped. Well, what happened?" On the other hand, if you already implement function has these practices and processes, resources are allocated to particular teams, and it became clear that team 2, for example, purchase saving plans, it means that this particular workload became cheaper for the company and like give more, effective benefits. How to set practices or how to set practice cloud financial management. It has several steps. First of them, we considered we need to establish cost optimization function in the company. So we need to create this team, involve financial and technology teams. And what is very important, team should has a regular meeting where they discuss topics such as organizational goals and targets, current cost and usage, and financial and accounting practices. So it's like what we already mentioned about cost monitoring. It's not like one-time event. It should be like regular process implemented and tied to other business processes inside the company. We need to configure budgets regularly, review forecast and promote cost-aware culture in our company. We should monitor cost proactively for the workload by implemented required tooling and dashboards. And finally, we should quantify the business value of cost optimization, which help us understand the entire set of benefits for organization. Obviously, cost optimization, cost monitoring, some activities which required efforts and money. And we need to provide or explain benefits of these investments to stakeholders. Okay, next chapter will be about how could we implement cost management in cloud journey. And let me start with another tool. Do you use any cost optimization and cost monitoring tools? Okay, thank you for answering. Quite interesting. I see that a lot of you use AWS billing and cost management tools, so I hope I will provide you some interesting information about new updates and new services. Also, I see that some of you don't use any tools currently, so I really advise you implement them. If you need help, please mention that in feedback form, and my colleagues from Svitla Systems contact you, and we'll discuss how could we help you during in this process. Thank you. So let's continue. Cloud journey. Well, usually application implemented in cloud has several stages. We may split its life cycle to such stages as design, investigation and design, then implemented and testing, production and growth, and operational stage. Obviously, at each particular stage, different products, different approaches should be applied, and we'll consider which exactly Well, but bad things of that usually cost will grow during this process. We may split the cost optimization to 5 pillars, where first of them it's right size and cloud resources. We know that we should use resources which provide exactly those performance and which we need. So we should provision CPU, memory, storage, and network throughput exactly depends on our needs, on workload needs. We should increase elasticity in our cloud, so we need add and remove resources exactly to correspond to need of our workload. Next pillar about right price and model. We'll take a look at that. Well, I guess you know about purchase and saving plans, purchase and reservation, but also there are several additional options how we may use correct pricing model to our resources. We need put efforts to optimize storage because AWS has a lot of features, a lot of different kind of storage, and where we know data type, sensitivity of data pattern usages, we should and actually we may optimize and save cost on our data services. And 5 pillars about measure, monitor, and improve. It's once again additional improvement which should be implemented on a regular basis, and it contains creating dashboards, monitoring tools, defining cost allocation tags, and so on. If we spread these pillars to different stages of our cloud journey, we'd like to say that at first design stage, we mostly need to take a look at design for cost and increase elasticity, because at this stage, we just try to understand what we need, which services should we use. At the implementation stage, we already get some understanding of our workload, so we're still able to increase elasticity, and we already get some understanding of data patterns, so we may apply optimized storage pillar. At the growth stage, we already may tune our resources and improve resizing of these resources. At the operational stage, when application became stable, we already understand workload patterns, and it means that we may apply all of discussed pillars, where I'd like to say that most important it's choose correct pricing model and implement monitoring and measurement dashboards. Okay, first stage, design and design. At this moment, as I said, architecture will have a big impact of eventually cost to operate. So here we need to review case studies. We need to review best practices, design and think about our account structure, and consider services based on zero cost and functionality which they provide. So I'd like to say that first step in this journey could be take a look at AWS Architecture Center, which is part of AWS Solutions. It provides a lot of different architecture solutions, architectural diagrams. It mentions this financial management framework. It spoke about well-architected best practices. And actually, what is quite important, these solutions contributed by many cloud architecture experts. So they came from AWS specialists and also from partner specialists. So it's not just everything designed by AWS. So it's also it has community contributions. Next service, it's AWS pricing calculator, and I'd like to say that, well, at this stage, it's probably the most important tool, and it's still very important tool when solution architect would like to speak with stakeholders, because AWS pricing calculator allows you to create estimation of planned infrastructure. Probably it's not possible to describe everything, all small detail, but in general, if you understand your architecture, you may play with pricing calculator to create your estimation and try to estimate actually cost and better understand which services will be payable, which consumption will be free, and so on. Also, AWS pricing calculator provide recommendation or on purchase and reservation, and also it decrease or increase cost based on choosed options. It works in quite straightforward way. You add services, then you configure each service, enter details of your usage, how many data you expect to send in or out, how many hours, for example, EC2 instance will work. Then as a result, you see estimated totals based on for per month and per year. At the next slide, you see just two examples which were published. Also, let me note that as soon as you create your estimation and publish it, it became public. It means that any other person like you, for example, you may take a look at our estimations using these QR codes, and that is why when you will create your own estimations, please don't use any confidential information. It's not advisable to use, company name, private, personal information, and so on. So because it's public, it should be like, company agnostic. Next service from AWS, which is called AWS Free Tier, also allows to use some services for free. It comes in different types. So, for example, when you create your account, some services are free for 12 months. Some services like free till particular usage, and also that is quite important. You may set up a free tier usage alerts, and AWS will inform you that your usage reach or it's expected that it exceed a free tier usage, and then you will pay money for using your services. Another best practice is to create infrastructure today is to create multi-account infrastructure. So many years ago, we usually keep all application, all environment, all our security data and everything in one account. But today it's advisable to create a multi-account system, and AWS organization is a service that allows control and manage across AWS accounts for a comprehensive multi-account environment. It has several features such as allows control access and permissions, share resource between accounts, and audit, monitor, and secure environment for compliance. Also, it provides consolidating billings that could be very useful if this multi-account environment was created for one project or for one application. But if it not so, for example, if you work in big organization which has a lot of different accounts and some of them have separate pairs, AWS provide such service which is called AWS Billing Conductor that allows you split cost and bills between different pairs. Another service which used AWS organization, and actually based on that, it's AWS Control Tower, and it highly and we recommend and AWS recommend customers to create a new environment using AWS Control Towers. In few words, it's self-service solution to automate the setup of new multi-account environment. It also has some features. It provides blueprints, guide rails. It implement best practices for creating separate accounts for security. For security team for keeping logs, and it's out of the box restrict access to the security log and other service accounts for security team. Also, it provides single pane of glass for monitoring compliance and guide rails. AWS Control Tower has such features as Account Factory, which makes account creation and provision easy, and I'd like to say include AWS Landing Zone service, which also help customers to quickly set up new AWS environment for multiple accounts. Next stage, where we already understand our architecture, have a plan, have estimation, stakeholders approve our approach, we start implementing our infrastructure. At this moment, best practices to set budgets, set tagging. As we mentioned, probably at the end of this stage, we will be able to review our storage choices, architectural decision. Do they okay, or we need to change something? And what is very important at this moment, we're already able to allocate cost to teams. And let me answer the next. Paul, could you tell us what kind of services do you pay for? I mean, when you implemented AWS infrastructure? Good. Thank you very much for answering. I guess we could end Paul. For example, if you're interested, let me share a result. So I see that almost any attenders of this course pay for compute and for the seminar, pay for computer resources and for storage. And well, actually, quite pleasant to me that you understand that you will pay for. I'd like to say everything else. Okay. Which services could be useful on this second stage? So first of all, let me note that recently AWS reworked billing and cost management services and created unified console for billing and cost management tools. If you remember, previously AWS billing console was like a separate service, and it requires some special settings and special user to access that. Now it's available everything in one console, and services and features in this console splitted by specific job to be done. There are billing and payments section, cost analysis, cost organization, budget and planning, saving and commitments, and preferences. So AWS billing, it still exists, and it provides billing for previous months. It provides billing for previous months. It provides a billing for estimated billing for current month. Here you're able to pay for your AWS invoices, and in preference section you're still able to set up and manage billing preferences. Also, let me note that it provides quite detailed view for what is like you pay for. You may drill down, like on this screenshot. For example, we see that Compute Cloud on Windows operating system, run it for almost all the month, and also it demonstrates how it's split by services, by regions, and so on. Just one note that it could not be like exactly so estimated detailed build could not be exactly what you will get in the end of month, because sometimes it could be recalculated based on real usage. It's like exactly what I mentioned. We in the cloud actually pay for everything, but it means that we need put efforts to optimize in all directions. So we have all our services, like starting with AWS free tier usage, but we need to look at everything. So even security tools cost money, network appliance, and so on. Next powerful and useful tool for allocating costs is using tags. By definition, tag is actually key value pair. There could be came in different types. So usually it uses technical tags like name, application, application role, environment. Tags for automation could be like date time, opt-in, opt-out. Business tags could be such value as project owner, department, or customer. Security tags could be confidentially compliant, and you may, use any tags which are like has sense and works for your company, for your project. Also, let me know that AWS also created and add tags to the resources. For example, CloudFormation, when it creates stack and the resources are managed by this tag, they also get some additional AWS generated tags, which help AWS manage these resources. And another tool to manage tags is tag editor. You may find that in AWS Resource Group service, and it allows you review resources which has particular value of tag or vice versa doesn't have this particular value. So you see on the screenshot that you may select or find resources which, for example, doesn't have this environment tag or has some wrong value, and it gives you ability to find these resources and fix your automated scripts if you have some forget to add this text or just has an error. Some of these tags could be used or like convert to cost allocation tags, and exactly these tags are used in cost categories, cost explorer, data export reports. You may use AWS generated tags, and you may use your own user definition tag. And also, for example, on this page, you see that create a tag. So, for example, for this application, we had an error in our deployment script, and created tag were like added in several different view with space, small symbols and capital symbol. Later, I'll mention that when we will speak about cost categories. But cost allocation tags could be used in, as I mentioned, in several other services, and it's very helpful service to allocate cost. Another service to allocate cost and split is AWS cost categories. And they allow us define custom rules to map our internal business and organizational structures, where when we define cost categories, we may set up several rules. What I personally like, you may even add the split charges rule. So, for example, let me consider this example. This is a cost category from, like, I'd like to say, top account, and we able here to collect accounts which like serve some service purposes like security, logging, and so on. We market some accounts as application, inner application, and some accounts were devoted to customers, MVP and demo applications. Based on particular accounts, we get this, spread money on based on our type. But for example, if we'd like to split customer cost on several categories, like customer demo application or customer POC, we able to add the split rule and say, okay, we know that, for example, 30% is about like POC and 70% about like for demo application, and it will be demonstrated here, which once again allows us as solution architects to provide the visibility to our stakeholders and explain which money like correspond to which workload and what is purpose of particular sum. AWS budget allows us to set alerts when our usage exceed the expected business budget thresholds. Usually budgets send alerts when it like reach 80%. The forecasting expects that will exceed the threshold, and when actual threshold is exceeded by actual usage, actual cost. Also, budget could be created in different way with different types, and you see that you have well, AWS provides several, predefined template, but if you'd like, you may use custom template, custom wizard to tune your budget exactly to your needs. Next service which I'd like to mention is AWS Cost Explorer. I really think that everyone who use AWS Cost Monitoring and Optimization tool knows this tool very, very good, very well, because it's very powerful tool. And for example, on this particular slide, we see life cycle of particular application. We see that it was created a year ago. Then cost is growing. Then approximately, in the end of year, application developers made resigned of architecture, purchase some maybe reservations. It allows to decrease cost. Also, because in this case, it's grouped by services, we see that some services were removed, some services were added, and we see like, current cost chart for this application. Cost Explorer contains several additional features, such as you may filter it by different, dimensions. You may group it by different dimensions. And let me know one more feature that was added quite recently. Currently, AWS Cost Explorer allows us to provide resource level data, which is available for 14 last days. And the services which are covered or like enabled could be enabled in preference features via preferences. And why it's so important. For example, on background screenshot, you see that if we don't have this resource level data, we created our chart for EC2 instances and elastic load balance, and we see approximately spend, but we don't understand one. For example, a week ago we have a peak. If we turn on resource level data as an foreground chart, we see that this particular resource has peak at April 12th, and it gives us like hint that we need to take a look at logs and understand why it happens. So it's a really great tool for debugging, for understanding our pattern. At the next stage, production and grow, we should take a look at the cost optimization recommendation. We'd like to review account usage and review, well, adding automation, and should improve our reporting. I already mentioned that cost and billing and cost management console were reworked, and let me point you to a home page. It actually could be considered as a single point of glass for monitoring and for like a quick look at your current state of application. It provides such widget as cost summary, provides spending trends. We see month-to-month breakdowns. We see recommended actions, saving opportunity. We see even some others. That is more. Actually, this layout could be reworked. You may update it based on your needs, based on your preferences, and made it design it in that way that it allows you be efficient in fast decision making about your current cost structure. Another new service provided by AWS, which is currently named AWS Data Export, is actually successor of cost and usage report. And if you had experience with, running some external tools or even homemade tools for cost monitoring, you probably knows about cost and usage reports. So it's just a huge CSV file, which could be designed by, split by resource, by granular, hourly, with hourly granular. But now data export came in also in 3 types. So recommended way to use it, it's standard cost and usage report, standard data export reports. It comes in new format. Here we are able to use SQL, just like a normal plain SQL, to select data. You may control structures, for example, exclude the columns which you don't need. And it comes already, prepared for using in Amazon Athena and S3. If you still have this, third-party tools or other, homegrown application which need old-fashioned cost and usage report, it's still available via legacy cost and usage report. So it has all, features which were previously presented as a cost and usage report. But what I personally like very much, cost and AWS data export has a third type, which is called cost and usage dashboard powered by QuickSight. So maybe some of you already, have experience or even use CTOs provided by AWS. Also, this cost and usage dashboards, it's like inspired by Cloud Intelligence Dashboard open source product, and it really could be set just in several minutes. Then you need to wait, several hours until it get data and provide these, very efficient, good-looking charts, which came in different flavors for different services. At the next slide, how it looks. Let me show you how it looks for storage, for databases, for S3, for DynamoDB, for messaging services. It also contains Optics Explorer, which provide you some forecast and how you cost will change during the time. So I really like it. It could be set, as I said, quite easy, quite fast, and I really advise you to take a look at that and use it in your ordinary work, day-to-day work. Final stage, it's operational. So here we may apply all our cost optimization pillars. We should provide regular reports and recommendation. We able to optimize account usage. We understand data patterns, so we able to optimize resources, optimize storages. We need to review our backup and archive strategy, and obviously we are ready to purchase reserved instances and saving plans. And before we continue, please answer me the next question. Could you tell us what kind of services do you focus on during cost optimization? So obviously, it's a little different from if you know that something costs, but if these costs are not important or critical for you, probably you will put effort to optimize in different directions. Okay, compute databases. Okay, thank you for answering. Igor, could you share result? Okay, so we see that I'd like to say that compute optimization, storage optimization, and database optimization are the most popular approaches. Well, if you'd like to learn more, probably you may mention that in feedback form, which is sent to chat, and we be glad to provide you some seminars on different strategies tuned exactly or focused exactly on this kind of services. Excuse me, let me close it. AWS billing and the cost management console contains a group which is called saving and commitments, and it contains new service, cost optimization hub, and it contains feature for saving plans and reservations. Cost optimization hub is a new service. It imports cost optimization recommendation generated by multiple AWS services from our accounts, and all members member accounts in our organization. Also, it includes right sizing recommendation from AWS Computer Optimizer. It includes saving plans recommendation from AWS Billing and Cost Management Console. It allows us to aggregate saving by different dimensions like region, account, type of service, and well, it comes in table view or chart view. Reservation recommendations also still provided by AWS Cost Management Console. I suppose everyone is well known this part. It still provides recommendation based on last usages. It provide recommendation for different 1 year or 3 year commitment. It could be paid upfront, or no upfront, and the recommendation provide approximately saving based on this recommendation. Just let me mention that reserved instances is actually just a billing discount for applied to use on-demand instances. And it means that, for example, if you have EC2 instance on compute resource which run 24 hours per day, reserved instances will work for you. If you may turn off this during night hours, probably reservation instances doesn't work for you, and in this case you need to take a look at saving plans. Also, reservation purchase recommendation covers several services, not just EC2 instance. Saving plans, it's a more flexible way to saving cost on for compute resources. Actually, it comes in 3 types for EC2, compute, and SageMaker. Compute covers also Fargate and Lambda. Also recommendation provided in quite similar way as was provided for reservation recommendations. Next, not new service, but still quite powerful service. It's AWS Trusted Advisor service, which inspects AWS environment and make recommendations when opportunities exist to save money, improve system availability and performance. The bad thing about AWS Trusted Advisor that for basic and developer support plan, it comes only with all checks in service limit category and 6 check in security category. I forget to mention that actually all checks are split to 6 categories: cost optimization, performance, security, fault tolerance, service limit, and operational excellence. But if you have advanced support plan, business, enterprise, or enterprise on ramp, you will get access to all cost optimization checks. Actually, it just for each particular organization should we pay for support plan, because business start from $100 per month. So probably for middle size company, it's not too much. And in this way, Trusted Advisor automatically checks and provide recommendation about cost optimization and other checks. Also, if you have additional engineering resources, this is QR link to a list of cost optimization. It's well documented and probably could be implemented manually. In the end of seminar, I'd like to speak about several cost optimization techniques, which probably not popular. Let me say it that way. So first of them, it's about storage cost optimization techniques. So here I mentioned 3 the most popular: object storage, block storage, and file storage services from AWS. So there are Amazon S3, Amazon EBS, and Amazon EFS. Any of all the services has different type of data, different type of saving this data. And according to what we demonstrate on this slide, from left to right, left types cost more. They have better performance or throughput. But on the right side, we have types of storage which cost less, but for example, could be useful if you don't need regular access to your data. So based on data patterns, based on data usage type, you may choose particular type of storage which will cost exactly according to your needs. For example, if you speak about some archived data, S3 Glacier, I guess it's well-known service for that. And for example, even S3 Glacier instant retrieval access provides you quick access to data, but you have a commitment that this data will be stored for a long period. The same, for example, for EFS. You may at these first stages of your cloud journey, you may put data in the use EFS standard, but then when you understand that, for example, this data, these files are not used too often, you may use two other more cost-efficient types like EFS infrequent access or EFS archive type. And another area which I also pay attention is security cost optimization technique. Here I mentioned several security services, but the most important recommendation that you should not compromise on security to save cost. So if we are speaking about cost optimization for security services, it doesn't mean that we should not use encryption, don't use Wi-Fi and so on. No, we need use it, but for example, if you create a KMS key, which costs $1 per key, and we don't use it, probably it's worth to remove that. If data type allows you to encrypt data with a S3 bucket key, you may use it and don't create a new KMS key for that. The same way for secrets. Each secret costs 40 cents per month, and if you create secret, use it, and then forget about that, it's also worth to remove that. On the one hand, it could contain some confidential data, and it's worth to remove that. On the other hand, it costs money, and also should be removed. Also, API calls cost not too much, but if you may avoid some additional calls, probably you may review your infrastructure, your approach, and don't make unused call. On the another side, it's I'd like to say several words about WAF, Web Application Firewall, and AWS Shield. So, for example, AWS Shield service, which protects you from the DOS attack, is free. But AWS provide another option, which is called AWS Shield Advanced, which is, should be implemented for critical workloads or high threat risk web application. It provides a lot of additional features, but it costs $3,000 across AWS organization. On the other hand, this 3,000 includes some cost for WAF for rules. So once again, it's based on this, some unique business requirements. You may choose different solution, agree them with stakeholders, and optimize cost of your security services. Okay, time is running out, so thank you. Let me summarize what we considered today. So companies should practice cloud financial management. We described how it could be implemented. Cloud services has a lot of advantages, but we need to put efforts to achieve that. So it doesn't work by its own. Cost management and optimization are continuously improvement process. And we advise you you may build basement with AWS billing and cost management services, and then add third-party tools if these services are not enough for your needs. There are links on some useful resources. Deck will be shared, so you will be able to go to this link and review information. And what's next? If you need some help, we at Svitla Systems will be glad to help you. You may keep a note in feedback form link provided in chat, and I ask you one more time to fill and provide recommendation, feedback. It helps us to create and compose better seminars. And if you need technical guidance with cost optimization, well-architected review based on focus on cost optimization or technical deep dive on cost optimization, we will be more than glad to help you with that. Thank you for your attention. I hope you learned something new.